morning. It is Tuesday, December 14th, and the laugh on my face is because this is my fifth or sixth take. I keep screwing up the beginning. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my studio. Today is about Tech Tuesday. Tuesdays I talk about the tech of the voiceover industry, generally speaking, and this is episode 24. I have often been questioned, how did you decide when to go full-time? And I can tell you that really quickly in a moment, but the answer to the question, which is really, how do I know, how do you know, how do I know when to go full-time, is really the question. As you might guess, there is no one single answer. It's generally financial. Certainly, go watch the other 23 episodes because that sets you up to get here. And I may have touched base on this earlier, but it just seemed like a more relevant question this morning for some reason. You know when to go full-time when you have got too much work in voiceover and it starts really harassing your regular job. That is one simple answer. If you've decided to start part-time and you're doing it in the evening or cutting a spot real quick before you head off to your real job, and this is a real job, by the way, but we'll go there. That's when you know that desire to do this full-time is overcoming your desire to do that full-time. There are just so many things to consider. Desire is one of them. If you absolutely hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate the situation you're in, or maybe hate's a wrong word, generally uncomfortable, don't like it, wish you were in something different. There you go. Now already you're starting to say, you know what, I'm sitting here working in my studio, nobody's bugging me, I work directly for my customers, I do what I want, when I want, which isn't really true, and I serve my customers. That's true. I found myself in that situation last year. I could tell that the job I was in was not going well. I was not getting along with the people I worked for. The pandemic had just started. There was a lot going on. And I knew I wanted to do this someday, eventually. I had put enough money aside that I knew I could go at least 6 months without a dime coming in. I probably would have freaked out before 6 months went by, but I knew I could. And that was the decision. I gave myself 6 months to prove I could make the house payment, right? I mean, just enough to that I wasn't pulling money out of savings to work. That was my first decision. And I think that's really the first decision most people have to come to. I'm in a lot of forums and groups online with voiceover artists, and the general feeling is a lot of times I can't do this full time because I've got a full-time job and I can't replace the income. That's a very fair assessment. Quite frankly, if you have a family and you're being depended on for health insurance and a regular income, you're probably not in a good place to go full-time. I am none of those. I'm not going to go into my whole life story, but I'm in a place where I could decide to do this full-time. And so when you go full-time, I fully believe it changes your mentality because you now know you can't depend on that other thing. Now, I've got a good friend that is, I think in September he realized that he could retire at the end of the year. And that made it easy because now he's got this retirement thing sitting there and whatever income he has from that, that makes an easy decision. I knew I had the money sitting there to make at least 6 months without making a dollar. And I've proved that I can make my house payment every month and more. It is a great business to be in. But how you decide when to go full time, please go back and watch the other 23 episodes. You're going to have a space that you can consistently record in. I had a friend that would like to get started in voiceover. She goes, well, I have a buddy that has a music studio, and when I get work, I'll just go record at his place. Great idea. I can pretty much tell you that's not going to work. And the reason being is that if you get, let's say, a great paying 30-second spot, you've got to stop what you're doing, drive over to your friend's studio, get set up. You're going to have to depend on him for being there to mix and record. You're going to have to record the spot. You're going to take more than one take. It's going to be 2 or 3 takes, and you're going to get something you can send to the customer. Your friend's going to have to process it for you, send it to you in an email, and now you get to send the file. And I don't know what pays well enough to do all that, because you're going to have to pay that friend for his time. That's only fair if you're getting paid for yours. You may not make a dime, and it's certainly not a way to run a business. You have got to have a consistent way to get the income. So whether you know an agent, you work with marketing firms, you're on one of the digital delivery platforms, you're going to have some way to know where you're going to get some work. So that's another thing. So if you don't have a good recording space that you can, oh look, I've got, ding ding on the phone, I've got a job, and you can walk into your studio and record it, even if it's that night after you've set up what I've called a blanket fort, previous episode. At some point, you've got to be able to do it on your own. The going to record at somebody's studio thing just probably is not a long-term, it's not a long-term solution. It's not a solution, really, I don't think, my personal opinion. You have the equipment. Do you have the ability to do it? Do you have the chops? Have you taken coaching? There are so many things that go into this. When do I go full time? But I can tell you, I'm going to assume you have a space that you can record in consistently, and you've got decent equipment and decent sound and decent capabilities. Now we're really down to financial. I mean, to me, that's the last of it. If you absolutely love your current job and you've got great benefits and a great place to work, I'm not sure why you would want to go full time in another thing unless you have the burning desire to do voiceover. So now we're back to, do you have the desire and can you afford it? At the end of the day, I think it all comes down to affordability, and there's only one person that can make that decision, and that's you. Well, Grant, how do I know I can make enough if I quit my job? You don't. Until you decide to do it, you don't know. And it's not going to be a voiceover question. That's a general business question. I know people that have started candle businesses, flower arranging businesses, lady that writes greeting cards with calligraphy, not full-time, painters. And they're all part-time people enjoying the heck out of what they do. And at some point, they get that nudge that they want to go full-time. It is different, and it should be considered well. I didn't answer a darn thing, did I? But hopefully I've given you some nuance and some things to think about, because I think it's really, really important. Am I glad I went full time? Now that's the last question I want to answer. Absolutely. I really enjoy the challenge of doing this. Those of you that know me, I love prototyping. I enjoy putting all this together. I enjoy the process of what I do as much as what I do. And we get fun scripts and really cool stuff all the time to do, and that's fun. It's like a painter getting a commission for a beautiful scene. Why wouldn't you enjoy that if you're a painter? And so on. So I'm glad I went full time. I know that making the decision that I wasn't going to do anything else, I wasn't going to try to find another job to help me through. In fact, I had a really nice part-time job offer from someone. No, I knew I had to put my eggs in this basket. So if you've ever seen that meme where there's a chalkboard and there's just equations all over the board and it's meant to be confusing, that's what this decision is like. So good luck with that. Have a happy Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.